All right, let's talk cars. If you've ever even glanced at a car's spec sheet, you've seen these two words that cause endless arguments: horsepower and torque. They sound kind of the same, they both have to do with power, but what is the actual difference? And honestly, which one matters more for you? Let's get into it.
This is the big question, isn't it? You're standing on the dealership lot or you're scrolling online and you see these two numbers. Which one should you be paying attention to? The giant horsepower figure or that beefy torque number? Well, by the time we're done here, you are going to know exactly what to look for.
First up, let's get a handle on torque. It's often the one that gets less attention than horsepower in conversations, but trust me, it's the absolute foundation of all the power your car makes. We're going to make this super simple with a little analogy. The main thing to get in your head is that torque is all about twist. Just picture your engine's crankshaft spinning. Torque is that raw, brute force it's using to make that rotation happen. It's the oomph, the pure muscle of the engine. But how do we really picture that?
Okay, this wrench analogy makes it crystal clear. Think about trying to loosen a really stuck bolt. The force you push down on the wrench with creates a twisting motion on that bolt. That, right there, that's torque. If you push harder, or if you get a longer wrench, you're making more torque. It's the raw power you need to get something to move when it doesn't want to.
And here's where you've actually felt it. The light turns green, you step on the gas, and that immediate surge that pushes you back into your seat? Yeah, that's all torque. It's that instant low-speed grunt that gets your car's heavy metal body moving in the first place.
Okay, so if torque is the muscle, then what in the world is horsepower? Let's flip over to the other side of the equation. This is the number that usually gets all the headlines, right? The one you always hear about with supercars. Now here's the key. Horsepower isn't a force by itself. It's actually a measurement of how fast an engine can do work. It is all about the rate of delivery. So if torque is how much you can twist something, horsepower is how many of those twists you can get done in a certain amount of time.
This right here, this is the big aha moment. It really just boils down to this. Torque is how much work you can do, the raw strength. Horsepower is how fast you can do it. See, you could have all the torque in the world, but if you don't have horsepower, you can't use that strength quickly.
So if torque is that launch from a standstill, horsepower is the feeling you get when you're already rolling and you floor it to get on the highway. It's that sustained pull that just keeps pushing you faster and faster, building up speed like crazy. It's the thrill of high-speed acceleration.
Okay, so now that we get the definitions, let's put them head to head. How do these two things actually play out in different kinds of cars? This is where all that theory becomes real.
This is the perfect contrast. A big truck, it's all about high torque at really low engine speeds. That's why it can yank a heavy trailer from a complete stop without even breaking a sweat. But a sports car, that's built for high horsepower. It might not feel as punchy right at the start, but as those engine revs climb, its power just builds and builds, giving it that incredible performance at high speeds.
This chart just visualizes that trade-off perfectly. For the heavy lifting, like towing, you want a vehicle that's built around torque, but for hitting high top speeds and racing around a track, horsepower is totally king. Each one has its own playground where it's the star. But here's the plot twist. After all this talk of showdowns and verses, the real secret is that they aren't rivals at all, not even a little bit. In fact, they can't exist without each other. They're actually an unbeatable team. And this is probably the most important thing to take away from all this. You cannot make horsepower without torque. They are literally tied together with a math formula. Horsepower is just what you get when you calculate the torque an engine is making at a certain speed, or RPM. They are two sides of the exact same coin. An engine that makes a ton of torque at high RPMs is going to make a ton of horsepower. Simple as that.
Which brings us right back to our original question. What's the right choice for you? Well, if your life involves towing a boat, climbing up some rocky trails, or you just really love that feeling of being shoved in your seat at a stoplight, you're looking for a high-torque vehicle. But if you're more about track days, spirited drives on the highway, and hitting high speeds, then horsepower is going to be your #1 metric.
So the next time you're shopping for a car, you'll know exactly what those numbers are telling you. It's not a competition between two confusing words anymore. Now it's a real choice about the kind of performance you actually want. Are you going to go for the instant, raw, twisting force, or the high-revving, exhilarating speed? The choice is yours.